Welcome everybody on YouTube. This time, first time I'm uploading the tier list as well there on YouTube. We're now live on stream and I'm sorry for all the ads on the side. Till next time I try to get an ad block. But for now we're going to make the tier list at the moment. I'm doing this with the chat, so there will be some interaction. If you only want to see the final tier list, it will be linked down below, I think, if I can do this. Alright, well, I don't see the chat, but alright. Let's start at the beginning, I think. Antler is still pretty bad, even though the steeds got buffed with it, and I would still rate it like B, because in the early waves it's super bad, in the late waves it's pretty good, so I think B is a good option. This is the same. It's a little bit higher now than it was the last time, but I think it is fair to make it that way. Next we have Antler. Antler is actually pretty bad at the moment. I would rate it C. You kinda only play it early game and you will never play it later on. So I think Antler belongs to C. Next we have Aqua. I'm still kinda hating the changes to Aqua. I would rate it on B because the rogue wave is pretty strong at the moment. The normal Aquas suck really hard often. So I would say it's kind of balanced because Rogue Wave is pretty strong. Fire Elemental isn't the opener it has been before. By the way, if anybody here of you disagrees, we can discuss it. Or if I'm not sure with some units, we're going to discuss it as well. Next we have Banana Bunk, the all-time favorite S tier unit. I think we can just pull Bone Warrior in there as well. I'm pretty sure those units will almost never get out of the S category because they're just doing so much more than their job. So we have here a tier 1 that is not only being used for splitting or for a cheap opener, but you can also buff huge units with it. And the Bunk is the best unit for waves 7 and 8. So they do way more than their purpose is. Bazooka is now a hard thing. Zeus got nerfed multiple times and Pyro is not the best as well, but Zeus is still a pretty good opener. I would rate it A therefore. Is there anybody like willing to rate it lower than A? I think A is a pretty good rating for it. Next we have Berserker. I would still rate it D. It is only picked kind of for the very, very, very situational opener, or if you need something for 10 or 13. I think otherwise I would not pick the Berserker. Therefore, Butcher is still a really strong unit. I'm tending between A and B. I kind of gotta look it up where we did it last time. I think it was B, exactly. It was B, and I think it is belonging into the B category. Next we have Buzz. Buzz is actually really strong, but not S tier, so I would say it's A tier still. So is the Chain Fist. Pilgrim is kind of balanced. I can't talk too much about them, so we just place them like this. Starcall, I would say it's A tier. It still has a lot of combinations and feels not too bad. It got nerfed, so it's not S tier anymore, but I think it still belongs kind of into A tier. Well, now there's one unit for me. I would personally rate it S because I kind of pick it all the time, so I'm biased on that one. But I still think Exec is A tier because usually you only pick it if you will work with it, and then it will be good. Wanderer, I would say it's balanced. I still don't like the fact that it's more or less not dealing any damage in the mid game. But for splitting, it's really nice, and early on, it deals a nice amount of damage as well. Next, we have Phoenix. I'm unsure a little bit. Phoenix between A and B. You would not have Bazooka on A tier, Penny. Where would you pick Bazooka then? B tier? I was unsure. It's like in between, I would say. And I'm unsure as well about the Phoenix because it got buffed pretty good. But is it now viable? It's been pretty shitty. Okay, so Since I'm in between A and B and the chat says it's more like B, let's say Bazooka is B. And I think for the moment we will leave Firelord there as well. I've not done enough testing for Firelord, and this is the reason why we put it on B. It seems balanced at the moment, but not too strong. How's the rating working? Okay, so quick explanation for everybody in the chat and now who stick to the YouTube video. You have 5 categories. S is the absolute best tier, and it's more or less too strong, or it's like very, very, very strong. A is like strong units. You have B is balanced. C is a little bit under, a little bit too bad, and D is kind of the opposite of S, so they suck. Yes, and here my tier list will be mostly my opinion about the units. Everybody has a little bit of preferences, and I'm communicating with the chat on top, so a little bit of your influence is there as well. So they suck, exactly. All right, we have Gargoyle. A lot of people will hate me, but I think it is B tier because it's just falling off so hard in the later game after 8. As best, D worst, exactly. Alright, then we have Gate Guard. Feels balanced as well. Maybe even C. I'm not sure how I rated it last time. C. Yeah, I think it is C. I was unsure. I think Gate Guard is C. There's not a lot of builds you play at the moment with Gate Guards. Maybe Steeds or Starcaller, but that's about it. Heaven in C. Yes, exactly, Penny. I would say so, the same. Buckler is A tier for sure. It's still an awesome unit, and I'm still blaming myself that I sometime rated it bad, and I really didn't like it at all. Next we have Growl. Last time Growl was S tier. It got nerfed a little bit, but I think it's still S tier just for the one reason that you can have a huge variety of builds with it, and you can just shift gold without really shifting. Boa got a little bit of nerfs, a little bit of buffs, but you kind of don't want to buff the damage and of Boas, more like the splash. So I would say it's still C tier. Harfies, now they were C last time, but they have to be D at the moment. They're really bad. The nerfs from patch 6.0 still hitting them hard, and I tried them out before, and you can't really play them at all. Alright. Next we have Flower. I think Flower is like balanced to good, but you kind of don't play it too often because it's very situational. That's why I would say it's on the B tier. I think that's fine for it. Infiltrator is A tier in my opinion. No, it's more like B tier, I think. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Yeah, last time we said B tier as well, because it got nerfed quite a while, but it's still in the Varg synergy, so it's doing pretty decent. But overall, I think it is kind of balanced at the moment. Looter, they felt pretty OP long time ago, but at the moment I would actually rate them on B. I think this is the better way to place looters at the moment on B. You don't spam that much anymore, so there's still a good way. Next we have LOD. And the problem with LOD is, I would say it's A tier. But if you have, like, it is S tier with Tempest. Otherwise it's like upper B tier, and that's why it's kind of A tier overall. I think you have to kind of fit it in between if there's some super broken comp, and otherwise it's like balanced. So I think you can good fit it on A. Mask, I really don't like masks at the moment. They don't feel strong at all. I would say they're C tier, but I would love to hear the opinion of the chat about this. I'm really unsure about masks. I think we had them B last time, but they really feel bad at the moment. So I think I would rate them C, but I would really be interested what the rest says. Okay, you like the mask? Yeah, mask APS is pretty good, but since APS got nerfed super hard as well, you can't start with it anymore. Well, we can go on and I will read the chat in the same time. Next we have Millennium, with Millennium being the worst change for a long time since it has the range of some DPS units, like some pierce DPS units. It is still D tier. It would be at least C if it did not have the range, but this range is really making it unplayable. And you can't put it more upwards than this. I would say Mudmans are fairly balanced at the moment, so B is just the right place for them to be. So is the cat. And I would also say so is Nightmare, especially with the pathing at the moment. I would say Nightmare is kind of balanced. I still don't enjoy playing it, so personally I would rate it way lower, but I try to be objective here. Next we have PB. PB was A tier last time, but I feel like we gotta do it on B tier right now because it got some hard nerfs last patch, so I don't feel good putting it on A again. Yeah, Ashton, but you can at least start with Flower. Like if you open up with Millennium, it sucks pretty hard for me. I mean, Flower's only B. Usually I would say it's C, but it's like really strong. 16, 18, 12. Poly, still pretty good. Tier 1. Like there's just 3 tier 1s up there and like 1 on S. So a lot of tier 1s dominate and the other ones are like okay-ish. Next we have Priestess. I think we put him on A last time, and I think I still want to do it for an opener, but it's very tricky to play and it's very complicated, so I'm not really willing to tell new players to try this out. Next we have Atom. The most probably know already that I hate Atoms by my heart, and it's probably B tier. I personally would rate it C. I would be really interested to hear your opinion about this as well. So for now, I'm gonna rate it C because it's my personal opinion. But maybe if now everybody of you says it's OP, I'm gonna rate it up. Ranger, feel kind of balanced at the moment, so I would put him at B. Steed is still a really nice unit. I would personally put it on A just because of the amount of combination it is improving. And next is a hard one again. Sandbatcher is really strong, but unit-wise it feels balanced. But since it's the best remaining arcane tank, you kind of have to put it in A. Yeah, Steed is actually... You're right, Penny. So, since this is the last real arcane tank, I feel like you have to put Sandbatcher in A. I think stats-wise it's balanced, but since it's arcane, you gotta put it on A. Yeah, Steed is broken as fuck. So when Steed got introduced, it changed the whole game with just one unit. Next we have Deep Coilers. I would say they are balanced. They still get sniped very often when the units run back and kind of run a circle around. So I think I still want to have them in B at the moment. Next we have Gates. Gates got buffed a little bit, but personally they're still C for me. Gates really don't feel good at all. Next we have Tempest. Tempest feel pretty good at the moment, for me at least. I would actually rate them on A, especially with the combination potential with LOD. LOD Tempest being the strongest 2-unit comp at the moment in the game. So I would definitely say both of them belong in there. Especially you can have other nice flying comps with Tempest as well. And it opens up quite some openers. To follow up, we have a lot of nice Varg combination units with Varg, Wildshroom and Violet. And I personally would rate all of them on B. They feel balanced. Violet and Shroom actually feel a little bit underbalanced for me personally. Especially Shroom. I think Violet only feels like this because I tended to play Violet a lot and I know how strong it was before, but Shroom actually feels pretty bad at the moment. Might have LOD and S. Yeah, I thought about it, but LOD is not the strongest like magic damage unit. Shrooms are pretty bad right now. Yeah, they are. I'm actually even considering putting them on C. I think I would actually put them on C. Just because broods and mimics are just so meta at the moment that they're gonna crush your shrooms within seconds. C feels good. Okay, so we agree on C about this. Next one is a hard decision, man. Yasora, it feels balanced actually. So let's do it there. If there's anyone crying about it there, we can change it. But I think Yasora feels kinda balanced at the moment. APS got nerfed so hard, but the buff is still insane. So you kind of gotta put it on B. The stats are, well, you don't want to tell anybody about the stats from APS, but overall, yeah, it still is a huge buff. And then to end things up with the Archer, last time it was A tier, I know, but since I've played a long time now, I would say it's balanced. The problem with it is, usually I would say it's underrated. No, it's overrated a little bit usually if you play it without any buff, so it's not dealing as much damage and the split damage is really hard for it. But as soon as you have combinations like APS or Sorcerer, it's going nuts. I know Penny is pretty upset with this, but I think with buffs, it's super strong. Without buff, it's not strong at all. Yeah, it is C tier with no buffs and S tier with buffs, exactly, and that's why I would say it's balanced overall. I think I'm fine with this. Is there any bigger complaints about the list where we gotta have a look at? Okay, I think nothing there, no complaints. If that's the case, thanks everybody for watching. Good luck in your games and have a nice day.